New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Rockin the Love. I'm Robyn. That would be Gil. Okay, so this is just the way my week has been going. I believe this happened to me on tomorrow's show. Okay, anyway, yes, I can see into the future. If you watch Girls Behaving Metaphysically, we actually taped it earlier this week for tomorrow. So it is going. Oh, nice of you to join us.
Hi.
So clearly, you weren't brushing your hair. What were you doing?
I was trying, but I decided on a hat.
Huh, okay. All right. And that would be Gil. Late to the party, but the life of the party nonetheless. So
Nonetheless,
here we are. And we are still in two different locations. One love, two different locations.
it's all good.
It's all good. I'm in Southern California, in Carlsbad, beautiful Carlsbad, California.
And I'm
Gil.
currently in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the temperatures have been dropping at night, but the daytime is fantastic.
Shay's here. Oh, I feel so good.
Yay, Shay.
Life feels good. Life feels back to normal. Shay, our consistent cheerleading, wonderful listener and amazing healer, and she does a plethora of things. She's been on our show, and she does a lot of things. So we all do a lot of things. What's going on in your week?
Well, oh wow, that's an explosive question. Goodness.
Well, you save anything that you want because
okay. Well, I would just say that's been full of events, unexpected, and full of a lot of things to do, a lot of people to respond to, et cetera, and so I've had to keep myself focused with remembering that it's all good and I asked for it.
And that's a really great point, because so much of the time we ask for things and then we get them and we go, whoa, I didn't ask for this. And it may not come the way we want it to come or how we thought it would come or be as easy and effortless as it could be. But I think that's a great, valid point.
Yeah. I think it's so easy to kind of like, for me, it's easy to get frustrated and feel overwhelmed and all of that. And then I realized, wait a minute, this, nobody made me come here and do this. Nobody made,
That's right. And that's a good thing to remember. My week is good. It's been very busy here as well. It's, again, it's sort of the same concept, when you talk about family. Yay, family. It's rarely easy and effortless. There's always something. But it doesn't mean it's not good. It's good. It's just, and again, clearly it's what we asked for, right? So it's been good, and I've spent this time really organizing some stuff I have here that because we didn't when we made the move we left stuff here, thinking about me being back and forth, and so going through my stuff, and I have many bags of recycling that have been taken out and give away and all that kind of stuff, and just sorting through things. And then what I notice is how much stuff we have. I mean, I know we know this, and I know we know in theory because we've got a garage full of it and all of that. But like so much little stuff. And I was sharing with Gil actually that the challenge for me is I pick up a little thing and I go, oh, I remember when Carissa, our daughter, was at the house and we went on the boat tour, the duck tour, and here's the ticket stub, and here's the this, and here's the that. But I do that with almost everything I touch. My recall is really good on those things. And so those little things like, oh, this is the paper clip that held together the blah, 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 blah. So I've been releasing because what I come to realize is that not many people are going to care later about, my boat trip and the ticket stub, or the story, So it's good to go over it and to see it and to remember and to love it and to bless it and to feel it in my bones and so let it go. So that's been my week. Yeah.
I am jealous that you have that kind of ability, because you just brought me to tears with that memory that I probably would have looked at those and gone, what are these?
Right. Right. Well, and that's the thing, in my mind, I'm like, and we know this because we both, Gil and I, used to be scrapbook consultants. And so, in our mind, we were going to keep it all in a book and make the book and, document and blah, blah, blah. And well, I will say that our dog helped us get past that the other day because we came home and one of the books was chewed up from when we first met. But I mean, it's that thought that you want it to go on, and yet, is that the way it goes on? I guess not. You know, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I've been getting rid of it. So if you want to know about it, you should talk to me about it now while I'm thinking about it, because there are things in there that I go, I would have never thought about this again. You know.
Mm.
So it is nice to look at certain things and go, oh my God, I would have never thought about this in this way. So that's fun. But I am ready to come home.
You are? Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
I think I was ready.
To come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that. But today we're going to talk about magic.
Woo.
Want to say more about that?
Magic. Well, magic. The thought is just that, so much in our lives seems to show up almost by magic. It just appears. Things we don't expect, things, et cetera, et cetera. And how much of that's, I mean, I think a lot of that, as I was alluding to a minute ago, is choices that we've made, ideas that we've set forth and that are now coming to fruition, that we don't always recognize the what preceded this in our lives, what has brought this forth. And so talk about that, when those magical things are showing up, acknowledging ourselves and acknowledging that this is here and wow, what a great thing, and really honoring it. So
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. So you don't want to miss that.
don't miss it.
But before we do that, you don't want to miss the good news. Because there is good news.
There is good news.
And Gil has got it.
I have got some good news. So I was reading about this young boy who's from a hockey family. I think his dad was a professional hockey player. His his uncle is like a hockey scout, and all this stuff. So he spent a lot of time. His older brothers, played hockey, and he was too little. He was still underage to get out there on the ice, and so he would go to a lot of games and hang out and everything. So one day he got, he was a little frustrated because as kids do, as all of us do sometimes, we're like, well, when is it my turn? Why do I have to sit here? And he said, I'm tired of being a rink dude. And they all thought that was hilarious. So they designed a hat for him that said rink dude on it. And that then sparked the idea of people liked it. They thought that was pretty cool. So it sparked the idea of selling the hats or selling other things that might say that, t-shirts or whatever. And so now he has this thing where he's selling this stuff at hockey games and stuff, selling this wearable stuff, and the money all goes to different organizations that support kids who need help to play hockey, to support their uniforms and et cetera, kids that can't afford it, otherwise wouldn't be playing hockey. And so his goal just this week was to raise $5,000 for children of veterans who needed extra money to play hockey.
Wow.
And his goal was $5,000. And, I think it's a pretty cool story.
It is a cool story.
So that it came from his frustration and then they turned it around into that, hey, people come to the game, we're rink dudes.
Right.
I thought it was cute.
It is very cute. It's well, and it also speaks to so many things. But I mean, it just speaks to reframing, your frustration, and then, to what's possible, that it's, bigger than you can imagine, kind of thing.
Well, and for him to think about, well, how do I share this? How do I share it rather than how can I get rich? And
Right.
How can I get rich is not always a bad thought either, but I always find it fascinating when kids are so clear about giving it away.
Yeah.
I think that's such a gift.
Yes, it is. Well,
Yes.
Mine is about a gift to the environment, so to speak. And I'm not going to lie, this is a very late breaking news story for me, so I haven't had time to really familiarize myself with it, but I'm going to do my best. So this is about a resilient return to the Everglades, and that after nearly a 15-year absence, a very beloved lodge called the Flamingo Lodge in Florida's Everglades National Park was reopened. And it was marking a story of amazing resilience and sustainability and community spirit, which is a good thing these days. So
Yes.
it was the place was originally built in the 60s and lost to Hurricane Katrina and William and all those things, and it's been reimagined for a new era. And thanks to the dedication of the National Park Service staff and the tourism partners, it now stands on a 13-foot concrete pillar featuring 24 cozy rooms crafted from steel shipping containers.
Oh, wow.
It's designed to weather future storms and really just honor the park's beauty, the natural beauty. And at the heart of their rebuild was sustainability. They really wanted to be climate conscious and use climate conscious materials. And they elevated the architecture to ensure that the lodge would have longevity. they also said that the goal was to give visitors a chance to spend the night inside the national park and expand their experience, enhance their experience. So it reopened at the end of 2023, and they've had their summer session, their first summer, and it's the only hotel within the park, obviously, offering guests that opportunity to just be immersed in the Everglades and really experience that ecosystem. And so they do all the same things there. There's kayaking and wildlife and all of that, but it's really a one of a kind experience. And the woman who's at the helm of it said, to be able to build something like this where people can come and experience it all is just a once in a lifetime experience for some. So if you're looking for a meaningful and eco-friendly kind of experience, the Everglades just got even more magical.
That's cool. Were these used shipping containers, did they say?
Yes.
Interesting. So it's repurposing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I love those repurposing stories. Again, it's just a different way of looking at what's possible,
Yeah.
So there you have it. That is the good news that is abounding everywhere, even when we can't see it. So we are going to talk about magic, which that's good news because who doesn't like magic? We're going to talk about that when we get back from our break. So stay tuned and come right back here to New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Get inspiration in an instant. God calls are the gentle and uplifting moment of truth to help you remember that the bright light of God's love is shining right now as you.
It's your God Call with Reverend Bill.
Start your 2-week free trial today, and you'll get a phone call 4 times a week from Reverend Bill with an uplifting half-minute message filled with insight, wisdom, story, and fun.
Let your light shine.
You can answer the call to listen to it live or let it go to voicemail so you can hear it later. After the free trial, your subscription is just $5.95 a month. The details are at godcall.org. God calls are disruptive, intentionally.
Whenever you write something, put on a gold star.
They take you away from your routine to remind you about the truth of who you really are. They come at random times between 8:15 a.m. and 6 p.m., so you won't be expecting them. And somehow, the message is exactly what you need to hear at the time.
Magic is loose in the world.
It's a moment of motivation in the middle of your day. Find out more and start your 2-week free trial now at godcall.org.
we're back. We are back. I have solved the mystery. I have gotten taller because
You've gotten taller.
yeah,
Was it
I,
magic?
it was magic. It was magical. Anyway, here we are. But I feel much more in alignment. I know my producer's like, get in the middle of the screen. Okay, I am. But yeah, I was feeling very short.
Well,
So now I'm feeling very tall.
welcome back, everybody. This is Rockin the Love, and we are excited to be here. I'm Gil, and this is the magical Robyn. And we are a married couple, if you don't know that, which means we've spent a lot of time together. And we're currently in two different places today because she's on the West Coast and I'm here in the middle of the Southwest in New Mexico. But we do this show every week. We talk about relationship and what is a relationship. And today's topic is magic. And it's thinking about our relationship to the things that we want to see in our lives, the things that show up in our lives, the people that show up in our lives, even. And, you know, sometimes it feels very much like things are happening and you're like, how is this happening? What's going on? Or at least that's what happens for me. And so for me, sometimes it feels rather magical. So we're just going to kind of explore that idea and see where that takes us.
Yes. I'm fully on board. I'm fully in agreement.
Oh,
Sounds
that's good. That is so good.
all right.
So
So
one of the things that I find interesting about magic, the word magic, is that it has been it's been around forever. You trace it back; it goes back through many different languages. The idea, and interestingly enough, in Christianity, it became kind of a bad word. And in part because the Protestants referred to the Catholics as being magic, having magical thinking, they were making things happen. And then it began to reference the idea of demonic activity, things that were outside of the normal, that weren't okay. They were bad things outside of the normal. And so you had a lot of anything that was outside of that Christianity became magic. So if you encountered another religion you were unfamiliar with, that they must be doing magic when they did things that wasn't understood. So it's had that kind of negative connotation.
right. Well, I mean, there's always that good magic and bad magic, or dark magic and light magic. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's always been that illusion that I mean, even in doing some work on our other show, my other show, Girls Behaving Metaphysically, with the book, the Four Agreements. And, that's one of the first things they talk about is just, that our words are, good magic or bad magic on some level.
Interesting.
Not bad, dark.
Well, and what's the biggest thing at the movie theater right now?
Don't know.
Huh? Don't know. The second installment of what do they call it? The
Wicked.
movie, Wicked. Thank you. And the whole thing in there about who's good and who's not and why, and they're all witches, magical, doing these things, but so that's a whole big thing around that idea of there being okay magic and not okay magic kind of thing. And I think the way we use our words and our thoughts and the way we create in our own lives has that same.
Yeah, I think that's That's the point. I mean, the real point. I mean, who doesn't love magic? We all love magic, even if we don't. Uh, we all love magic, or we have at some point in our life, or you know, or whatever. And I think what you just said, which I now don't remember what it was, but it was about something about the magic in our lives. What did you say?
Well, just that, what we create. I think about, we talk about being beings that co-create our lives, and that what our thoughts are creative. And often we focus on that being creating good things, and we forget that the negative things that we often see in our lives are of the same source, of our thinking. So the things that seem to magically show up in our lives, like, where did that come from? I wasn't expecting that. Why is that happening? Well, you've been saying for years that you didn't think that such and such was okay or would work, or whatever it was, and now here it is.
Yeah, interesting. So, well, no, what it brings up for me
When you think,
why are you laughing?
I love it when you think, because you're like, you can't quite get started again, because you're like, wait, he said too many things.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot to it, and part of it is the thought. Yeah, there were too many things. Part of it is the thought. It made me think about, because you're talking about magic like it comes and it goes, or
Okay.
like it shows up, out of nowhere, and it makes me think about, when is magic not there? Because I think that yeah, I think that it's is it isn't it always there?
Yeah, I'm thinking as you say that we often think of, I often think of magic and miracles as almost like interchangeable in a certain way, because they both can have the connotation that something has happened outside of normal possibility, right? And if we really examine miracles, or what people call miracles, are they really things that happen normally outside of normality? And the same
Well,
thing with what we call magic.
yeah, but now I don't want to get stuck on word battles. Not that no, really, because outside of normal.
Well, I mean, outside of what people think is possible, what people think is
People, what people
people.
think.
Yeah, those people. No, many people. What many people would classify sort of the race consciousness about what is possible.
There you go. Race consciousness will clear it up. Yeah.
Maybe that. Yeah, see, that helps.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share a quote with you. The universe is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our wits to grow sharp.
Oh, I hope they have a lot of patience.
But what would it be like if we lived our life that way? What would it be like if we found the magic in every moment?
Mm-hmm.
What would it be like? Because I know that, I mean, I know you have a thought about this show and what's been happening over the last couple of weeks, and those examples, but just putting those examples aside, which we will share with you at some point, I'm sure he'll work his way back around to it. Is who's to say? I mean, I think every moment is magical because we take a breath. And how the hell does that happen? Somebody says yes, give her another. you know? Like it's to me, if I break it down, I like it's magical. It's magical. I mean, I was reading some story about somebody who died and they were 30 or young, and I'm thinking, God, how is it that I've gotten to live past that, you know?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. How? Well, right. What is it that uh, determines the ongoingness of life, if you will? Because this life, at least, what we're witnessing as life. Um, is it truly that people have assignments, they show up, they get the job done, and they're released? Is it sort of like a prison term? Is it is it more like it's an opportunity, and some people just they're ready to move on to the next thing. I don't know, but yeah, what is it? It it is rather magical that people continue on. I just the other day I met a 105-year-old lying in a bed named Doris, my mom's name, and I thought, wow, that is crazy. 105 years old. Why is she still with us? What is the thing? What is her? Well, it's some kind of everyday magic that she's continuing to be on this plane with us all and contributing.
mhm. And everyday magic in that you met a 105-year-old named Doris, and that whatever that experience was for you will continue to live with you. So
Hmm.
there was magic there that nobody may ever know or whatever, but somewhere in your being, when you talk about this 105-year-old, or when you decide how long you're sticking around, or when you see somebody else on a certain path, you're going to think back to Doris, and so, yeah, I mean, I get that if I was to declare every moment magic, it might take away from the magic of magic. But I think because I'm not superhuman, it's hard to live in that realm all the time anyway. And if I think awareness is the magical thing, awareness of what is.
Well, we talk about gratitude, talk about being grateful for our lives, and sometimes one has a discussion with someone and it seems like they can't figure out what to be in gratitude for, and we go, well, just anything, just think of anything, you know and I think that magic thing is kind of in there, in the sense that more magic, more things can be magic as we appreciate them, as we appreciate, because everything that happens in our lives is, in a sense, from that magical realm. It is outside of anything we could pre-orchestrate personally,
Mm-hmm.
or at least I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it's magic. And when we walk in gratitude for all that happens in our lives, because we know that all of it contributes to who we are, then it's all gratitude worthy, just as everything is magic worthy, if you will.
Mm-hmm. So I think, I think what you were initially wanting to talk about is sort of, because magic is really a big topic, and we could get into this magic in our lives, magic, magic in the ordinary, magic, there's a Brene Brown quote that is, sometimes we're so busy chasing the extraordinary that we miss the magic of the ordinary.
There you go.
And that's, very, very true. And yet, I think what you were talking about is really the magic of our intention.
Mm.
The magic of our intention. And let me just see. Shay is saying definitely magic. I recite the Oath of Manifestation by Cheryl Ward every day, and I never could have been 1 million years planned that I would be getting a new car this week. Totally unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is what you're talking about. The magic.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Shay. That's perfect segue, because your intention, which I'm sure you can clear up for me, but I'm going to make it up right now, is to live a life a life where you are able to do what you do to the best of your ability, and to be present and awake and aware. And I'm gonna just guess that you weren't out there praying for a Corvette, or something. But I mean, your intention and the way you're living your life is leading to whatever got you this new car, because that will support you and support your vision and support your moving forward in a way that supports your health and well-being and your beingness. Right? Am I right? Just say if I'm right.
You're right.
Thank you.
Well, I think along that line. I mean, I'm going to say that I think that oath of manifestation concept, this idea of realizing we are abundant and all of those things, is where we see the bigger picture. We see the reality of what is, that there's abundance everywhere, that it's everywhere in our lives. It's it shows up as people, as things, as food, as all different kinds of stuff. But my sense is Shay's been just allowing herself to be more and more aware of that. And so she sees the big picture of what exists, and then I'm guessing that you take the next step, whatever the step is in front of you that you're called to do. And then one day she took a step around the corner and there was a new car coming. But it wasn't like she'd drawn a line on a graph to get to a new car.
Right. And I think and it's what Reverend Michael and everybody talks about in a manner of speaking, is that it's where you're coming from. Where are you coming from? And then that informs what happens next.
Yeah.
What does Shay say? So Shay says, I have learned that when you pray for abundance, one needs to be available to receive that abundance when it comes. There has been lots of resistance with this new vehicle, and it is necessary. And she said it definitely wasn't her plan.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, you know the saying, if you want to make God laugh,
Make a plan.
tell him your plans. Yeah.
But yes, the idea that one needs to be available to receive abundance when it comes can be restated as one also or at least can be augmented with one also needs to be aware when abundance is showing up. One needs to take the time to interact with said abundance. Because so often we'll go, I don't have time for that right now. I need to go do this because this is what's most important, even though what's happening is you're being shown that there's something over here you need to do.
And I would say not only interact. Did I cut you off?
Oh, no. We're doing a talk show. It's okay. We can talk over each other.
But I would say the first step is to acknowledge it, because we don't always know what it is. We're like, what the hell?
Right.
What does this mean? This isn't what, and we're in our set mode of going, this isn't the way it was supposed to happen, or this isn't the way I thought it was going to happen, or this isn't what I wanted, or blah, 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 instead of just acknowledging, all right, okay, all right, hello. This is showing up and being with it and being able to really just acknowledge what's happening. And I think that's a beautiful segue for your story because that's what it felt like you were doing the other day. So I'm going to kick it off. That I got a phone call from my husband the other day, and this was on Sunday after service, and he was like, "Okay, I just realized I should check in with you, so I'm checking in, but I'm going to lunch, and I don't know where or with who, and there's just something going on. There's something going on, and I'll tell you later." Thank God I'm an empath and intuitive. I was like, okay, as opposed to, what do you mean? What do you mean something's going? What do you mean you don't know with who? Are you in trouble? And I didn't do that. Anyway, but it was very. I could feel where he was, and I was like, okay, all right. He just needs to anchor in this, and that's what he's doing, as opposed to spinning out. Was acknowledging. I don't know what's going on. This is strange. I don't know who these people are. Okay. And then you went from there. And so you tell them the story and where you went into, because it was a great acknowledgement. So go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, at that point, I'd been introduced to someone who had come to the center, and I had found out was connected to someone else in the center for the last 25 years, but anyway, she'd shown up late. She wasn't there for the service. So, it was kind of this weird thing. I'd kind of seen her in the hall and thought, well, where'd she come from? And so anyway, we sat down and talked, and she was sharing all these kind of ideas and thoughts, and I wasn't even clear on exactly what she was talking about, but I began to understand that it had to do with her life of generosity and what she had done and who she was about and what she believed in, and her wanting to be generous some more and also wanting to invite us into a place of serving in a certain way. And so anyway, all of this, we went to lunch, we went and visited a couple of the things that she does, all this on Sunday evening. We got done at like 6. And what I realized in it was that I needed to just be there and allow it to unfold. I needed not to try to figure out what this was, why it was. I needed not to try to futurize and go, well, when's that going to happen? How's that going to happen? How can we do that? It was to just be with it and go, okay, I feel it. And I was with this person. I mean, I literally left and I said, so I'm not sure if I spent the afternoon with this kind of nutty lady, or if I just spent the afternoon with a spiritual teacher, or both. I mean, it was that kind of thing, because she's very clear on spiritual level and seeing the whole picture and taking a step where she was called to take a step, but not necessarily mapping things out. So anyway, what this all comes in the midst of is our process at the center to reevaluate where we are going to be housed, how we are going to have the funds to provide for said housing, etc. And for a year, we have been basically saying, we're looking into different things and we are open to what shows up. And I keep going, I know that whatever it is that's supposed to be there will be there on time, and it will be what we need, and we'll recognize it. And so all of a sudden there's this thing that kind of seems like it could be a major piece in that. And it's showing up now in November. And we have a lease that ends in February. And we're talking about moving a business, moving a community, or not moving a community, but we're talking about whatever it is we're doing, making a choice. And suddenly there's this seeming suddenly out of nowhere possibility of money coming from sources unknown, sources unexpected into our system, which would give us more freedom in our choices, and we've been praying for the last 6 months for an increase in our funds. We've been praying literally for $10,000 a week from sources known and unknown. And this has shown up. A few weeks ago, we started on an adventure with looking at a whole new program we could create, which would generate funds from the outside. And that may well generate all kinds of funds, something that we did not expect, I did not expect, and, didn't, whatever. So what the whole thing came down to for me was, and in the discussion, we kept getting into more and more different ways in which we might work together with this person. And so I just kept going, okay, what are we talking about here?
So can I jump in just for a second? I wasn't there, but I just want to summarize a little bit. What the appearance is, or what it felt like is it was an angel. An angel arrived, and however you want to form that. And somebody who, whether it happens or not, but somebody who said, oh, I see, how come you don't have this? We should get you that. We should do this. We should do that. And it seemed very clear about all of that and the possibilities. And, obviously you're being a little conservative because it's not public. It's not in the works. So all of you listening from RGCSL, shh. Don't say a word. But what you should know is your prayers are working.
Right.
And that this is, and that's for everybody. That's for all of you out there. When we pray for, love and good and the highest and the best for all, it's working, And so, but this is the kind of thing where you're not trying to force it. You're not trying to do anything. You're simply, it's magic unfolding is what we're saying.
Right.
It's the possibilities we don't even know at this moment. I mean, they're limitless from the conversations you've had.
Right. Yeah. They're like just opening up whole frontiers of possibility and thinking about how are we a center? What is important? Just all of that bubbling up within it, while at the same time seeing all this ability to really be with that stuff, knowing that we're supported in a different way, to really make some choices that we maybe have not even taken time to try to make because we're so concerned with staying above water.
Yeah.
But I have been holding, and many other people have been. This is not about me per se, but I share it about me because I find myself feeling like I'm in the way of it often, and I feel like I've been holding this space for anchoring that. Well, whatever it is, it's showing up, and we just have to be open. And part of the reason we're looking at, every possibility is because we don't know where it's coming from. And we're just opening doors. And many of them lead to brick walls or whatever. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. And some of them are people coming through doors that we didn't even know were on the other side. They're just showing, they come in the door. It's kind of the Jeep shows up at the house at the beginning of the flood. Do you just go out and get in the Jeep and go? or do you say, well, I don't know, this seems too good to be true, I think I should wait. You know.
Yeah.
And I think as a community, we have created this space for this possibility. And I think there's been an energy over the last few months in Rio Grande Center, which has kind of put more and more people in that place where they're open to something unexpected.
Yeah.
They're open to something. They're open to what is it? You have to be flexible. You have to be able to pivot.
Yeah.
And I think, that's as important. That's important in our spiritual walk, to be able to pivot when we need to, or when we are called to. Even more than that, even if we're not sure why we're pivoting that way, but that's what we need to do right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think in our spiritual walk, pivoting, two-stepping, all of those things, every dance move you can possibly imagine is required. And I can't believe we've come to the end of our hour.
We have.
We have, and we could definitely talk more about magic and intention in the future. I did want to share one more quote, just because I thought we would get to relationship, but we didn't. But I love this. That the universe is full of magic. Oh no, that's not it. I already did that one. Damn it! If only my producer knew what I was doing.
You told them.
If only I knew what I was doing. Here it is. Real magic in relationships means an absence of judgment of others. And I think I bring that one up just because I think that's what we're dealing with every day, and others and ourselves, and really just allowing, allowing everybody to be their magical self and without judgment. And then it goes into your story as well. If you were trying to judge that situation and make something happen, and is this true? Is she really going to come through, or are they going to do this, or whatever the thing is, then it loses the magic, right?
I was thinking, yeah, it's in our relationship to anybody. It's in that ability to not judge based on what we think we know at the particular moment. It's seeing this vision, in this case, seeing this vision for this community, etc., knowing that it's there,
Mm-hmm.
and then going, well, wow, this is nothing I could have found in a book or looked for or whatever, but I'm not going to judge it good, bad, or indifferent in this moment. I'm just going to be with it,
Right.
Show up.
Not only that, but trusting and knowing that not only we know it's there, that other people know it's there.
Yeah.
That other people feel it, know it, see it, understand it. And so as we wrap up this episode today, I just want to take a moment to really honor that quiet magic that surrounds us, and the serendipitous encounters, or the dream that unfolds in perfect timing, or the way a simple gesture can shift the whole day. And just, magic isn't always loud or glittering, and sometimes it's just in subtle alignment of things that we didn't even know we needed. So how do we take this out into the world? How do we take this out into the world? And I think that we start with the quote, right? By letting go of judgment, by being present and allowing things to happen, by letting wonder be our compass, and really saying yes to unexpected things, and speaking our intentions aloud, and really just knowing that when something beautiful shows up, whether it's a person or a moment or an opportunity, can we receive it with open arms and a grateful heart? Because when we live our life with curiosity and courage and connection, we don't just witness the magic, we become part of it. So that's the challenge. Until next time, will you keep your eyes open, your spirit tuned in, and your heart ready for the next spark of the extraordinary? Because it's happening. It's happening out there. It's happening in our lives. And we just have to be open and willing to see it.
Indeed.
So you know what to do, everybody. Rock the love out there in the world. The world needs it. And you are it. So we thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And we love you. We love you too, Shay. We love you all.
Congratulations, Shay.
Yeah. Rock the love and drive safely. See you next week.